Summer 2008. That was the year a Brooklyn nursing home can no longer take care of Granny Mildred. In fact, that was the moment both my parents, an accountant and a teacher, had to take Granny into our childhood home in Georgia. You see, Granny was battling with moderate to severe dementia, irritability, frustration, anger, and paranoia became household themes. Her severe symptoms were so pronounced that my mom at a refill asked, "Why is Granny getting worse each and every day?" But in that moment, the local pharmacist paused, assessed, and advocated for something called deprescribing. She called the provider up, they came up with a plan together, and well, Granny's symptoms went away in just 2 weeks. Now, to add to this fun equation, this was a medication that had a pretty severe side effect warning on it. In fact, it had an FDA black box warning stating that there's an increased risk of mortality when we use this medication in someone with dementia. Why did this happen? How did this happen? I want you to now imagine that medicine cabinet you have at home in your bathroom and see it as a toolbox. Each tool has a purpose, it has a job, and they're meant to do what they do. But over time, those tools can get a little rust, a little wear and tear. And well, what was once your helpful toolbox is now a cluttered mess of chaos and can actually be a danger to you. You see, that is what we define in the field as polypharmacy, or the use of sometimes 5 or more chronic medications. Deprescribing is the safe and supervised removal of cleaning out that medicine cabinet. Now, as people age, unfortunately, prescriptions may simply pile up. A 2019 article from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society tells us that people 65 and up are taking 42%. 42% of them are taking at least 5 or more medications. A 2020 article also states that from polypharmacy, a 2020 report from the Delon Institute also tells us that 750 older adults are sent to the ER every day. That's 1 person every 2 minutes. A 2023 meta-analysis shares that looking at 371 million people across 17 countries, that there was a 37% prevalence of polypharmacy. In fact, 30% here in the US. To make matters worse, from the Annals of Pharmacotherapy, a 2018 article shares that we spend $528 billion because we're not using meds to the best of their ability. You see, in my role as a deprescribing pharmacist and as a board-certified geriatric pharmacist, I often find it's a concerned caregiver that kickstarts the deprescribing process with their clinical team. The research is promising. It's an exciting time to be in the world of deprescribing. A study called the SHED-MEDS trial found that with a nurse-led and pharmacist-led deprescribing intervention, 15% fewer meds were found in that intervention group compared to the control group. The world of deprescribing is robust. We've got the Canadian Appropriateness and Medication Deprescribing Research Network, founded in 2015. We've had Europe follow suit, Australia, and even here in our very own backyard. The US founded their US Deprescribing Research Network in 2019. This very same week, the Portuguese country developed their own research around deprescribing. So the verdict's out. The goal behind their development is bridging collaborators and caregivers and families on how to advocate for medication safety. Deprescribing can give some pretty big wins. There's addressing quality of care, there's addressing healthcare costs, and there's the chance of improving safety. Now, you may be wondering, how can we really address the world of deprescribing myself today? Just like, well, my mom did at that pharmacy counter. Well, don't worry. We have a toolkit right here for you. First up, we need to list all of the medications, OTCs, supplements, vitamins. We need to make sure we have that accurate and up to date. And then we want to ask 3 key questions. What am I taking this for? Has it actually been helpful? Or has it been harmful for me? And then with your provider, with your care team, we're going to look and prioritize, where do we start on this deprescribing process? Once we decide together, we're able to monitor and look and start the deprescribing process. Next, we'll then taper and make sure no side effects or withdrawals come about. And then lastly, we communicate any side effects or issues that may arise from this. Now, I get it. Sometimes deprescribing can seem a little scary, a little bit different from our norm in care. But communication, a targeted approach with your care team, can assuage a lot of these initial fears. The true barrier is pivoting from a culture of overprescribing and focusing on deprescribing. Now, if it wasn't for that beautiful pharmacist, Granny Mildred would not have lived to see the wonderful age of 90 years old. That pharmacist is why I stand today before you in my light as a deprescribing pharmacist. But the secret ingredient isn't about me. It's you. Each and every one of you can channel the same questions that that pharmacist and my mom asked that day. What is this medication for? Has this actually been helping me? Or has it been harmful? The world and time to act is now, and it is an exciting time to advocate. I want to count on you to tackle that toolbox. Are you ready for the job?